What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. So a government shutdown is on the horizon. It's imminent here in the next few hours. And tens of thousands of mass layoffs here are set to happen here, according to President Donald Trump and the White House. This comes in addition to the tens of thousands of layoffs we just had here recently, which we'll go over here in this video, which is very concerning to a lot of people. And at the epicenter of this is your healthcare costs and prescription costs, which are set to soar. And a battle at Congress right now is, well, at the center of all this. And we'll go over all this here right now in this video, because this is concerning for a lot of Americans. And we're going to go over the details here right now so you are aware of all this. So let's jump right in. We are live right now here on the YouTube. It's Jimmy Show. Let me know if you can see and hear me. Type yes in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. You can let me know your city, state, or even your country, as we have people tuning in here from all around the globe. Don't forget to hit that like button for me here. It really helps out the channel. And if you haven't yet, subscribe down below so you don't miss out on future videos. I will keep you up to date and help me reach 500,000 subscribers. You guys are amazing. Take a look here. So the Republicans earlier this year raised the debt limit by $5 trillion earlier this year. Now, the debt limit, or the amount of debt the U.S. owes, is now over $37.5 trillion and counting by the second, as it just continues to go up and up and up and up. As you can see here, the amount of U.S. debt per taxpayer is $324,000 plus and going up and up and up. However, the White House says they're telling agencies to prepare for mass layoffs for a government shutdown, which is imminent. Memo says only Trump priority programs are safe if Democrats won't agree to a GOP stopgap funding plan. And President Donald Trump is blaming Democrats for this shutdown, even though Republicans control the presidency, the House of Republicans, and the Senate. Now, here was President Donald Trump talking about government shutdown 12 years ago, and here's him talking about a government shutdown now. Take a listen.
And if it's shut down, it's only going to be, if there's a shutdown, it's only because of the Democrats, and they would really be taking away a lot from our country and from the people of our country.
In my opinion, I hear the Democrats are going to be blamed and the Republicans are going to be blamed. I actually think the president would be blamed. If there is a shutdown, and it's not going to be a horrible shutdown because, as you know, things will sort of keep
Well, it's a partial shutdown, right?
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States. He's the one that has to get people together.
And if it's shut down, it's only going to be, if there's a shutdown, it's only because of the Democrats, and they would really be taking away a lot from our country and from the people of our country.
So you can see Trump previously kind of arguing against himself, saying previously that if there was a shutdown, it would be the president's fault. He's the one supposed to bring Congress, Republicans and Democrats together. Now he's saying that if it happens, it's only the Democrats' fault. But Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And, you know, just, you guys can let me know your thoughts on this here in the comment section. President Donald Trump is threatening mass firing of federal workers if government shutdown isn't averted. President Donald Trump says on NBC News on Sunday, "We are going to cut a lot of people. We're able to cut on a permanent basis if the government shuts down." The White House has renewed warnings that thousands of jobs could be on the line if lawmakers don't reach a deal. Republicans and Democratic lawmakers in Congress are still very far apart on multiple sets of negotiations, which we'll get to here in a second.
This morning, jobs under threat as the clock ticks towards a government shutdown.
I think you could very well end up with a closed country for a period of time.
The Trump administration threatening to fire federal employees if a deal to fund the government isn't reached in less than a week. Usually, if the government shuts down, some workers go on unpaid leave. But now the White House raising the stakes, saying additional jobs will be lost for programs that will lose funding and are not, quote, consistent with the president's priorities. Overnight, Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer calling the move, quote, intimidation, saying Donald Trump has been firing federal workers since day one, not to govern, but to scare. This has nothing to do with funding the government. The stalemate goes beyond Washington. Shutdowns affect workers across the country, from the military to the Postal Service to national parks. Democrats have been holding out for more money for health care in any potential agreement, including extending some coverage for Americans under the Affordable Care Act and reversing Trump's cuts to Medicaid.
8 words, not difficult for Donald Trump to process. Cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save health care.
Many Republicans say that's too expensive.
This is not the time or the place to do this. They're asking for hundreds of billions of dollars of additional spending.
The two sides had been set to meet at the White House today, but President Trump canceling, writing, "I've decided that no meeting with their congressional leaders could possibly be productive," while Democrats double down for now.
Donald Trump wants a shutdown. He wants to be king. He has no interest anymore in governance or working with Congress.
Now, at this point, Democrats are skeptical the Trump administration would actually follow through on this threat if the government were to shut down, in part because of the rocky process from Elon Musk's DOGE committee that they went through during their attempt to reduce the federal workforce in the spring. Many of those federal employees let go during that round of cuts have actually been asked to come back to work.
Now, according to DOGE's website, the Department of Government Efficiency, they have saved $206 billion, over $1,279 per taxpayer, through the combination of asset sales, contract and lease cancellation and renegotiations, fraud and improper payment deletion, grant cancellations, interest savings, programmatic changing, regulatory savings, and workforce reductions. This amounts to that they could send out a check right now to over $1,279 per taxpayer immediately. And if you remember, Doge and Elon Musk said the checks could go out up to $5,000 from Doge alone. Not to mention now the money coming in from the tariffs, which President Donald Trump said he, I don't know his exact words, but he was potentially in favor of using money from tariffs to send out a tariff rebate check as well. Estimates are around $350 billion just for this year for tariffs money coming in, as tariffs are being announced. If you see my recent video, massive tariffs which are raising prices on many, many goods here for Americans. Now, Trump has said he has reversed course after days of scrapping a meeting to meet with Democratic leaders. Now there is supposedly supposed to be a meeting between Trump and Democratic leaders. We will see. And Trump's mass firing of federal workers, if government shut down, would mean tens of thousands of people, according to the White House. This comes in addition to the list of major companies that have already laid off staff this year, including Starbucks, Oracle, Nike, Scale AI, and more. And when you look at the list of companies, major companies that have laid off employees in August and September, the list is large. The list of companies here that have laid off a large amount of people in August and September, the list is large. We have companies like Microsoft, CVS here, JP Morgan Chase, Some really big companies here. Paramount, so Wells Fargo, so some pretty Tyson Foods, Target, Nordstrom. Look at all these companies here. Amazon Fresh, McDonald's, Walmart. Look at how long this list was for last month. DHL, and then we have the list of what's already been compiled for September. This list is not as long, but still some companies on here. I'm not sure if this is still being compiled or whatnot, but you can see here that there is a lot of people being laid off in the country, saying, quote, "I'm absolutely terrified. Federal workers brace for potential government shutdown and mass layoffs." And a lot of people worried if they're going to get their checks or if they're going to lose their jobs completely is a concern for a lot of Americans. Now, I've seen in the comment section a lot of people wondering about their government benefits as well, like Social Security checks. That should still continue through a government shutdown. So I will keep you up to date here on that as well. But the problem here is that there are so many people affected by this, and this potential government shutdown could be even worse. One of the biggest issues at this one is Democrats refuse to cave on health care before meeting with Trump on government shutdown. Congressional Democrats are holding the line on their health care demands as shutdown talks enter the final stretch before the funding deadline of October 1st, or Wednesday morning at 12:01 a.m., unless a deal is reached. This comes as Americans are paying more for health care than almost every other first world country in the world. The United States has one of the highest costs of healthcare in the world. In 2023, data says that U.S. healthcare spending reached $4.9 trillion, which averages $14,570 per person. $14,500 per person. The average cost of healthcare per person in other wealthy countries is half as much. Unbelievable. Relative to the size of the economy, healthcare costs increased from 5% of GDP in 1963 to 18% in 2023. When you have healthcare costs going up 18% a year, it's insane. It's insane. And when it's already almost $15,000 a year for healthcare, how can Americans keep up? Look at the cost of healthcare going up per year since 1963. Unbelievable. And at the heart of the matter is the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare subsidies, set to expire at the end of this year, not very far away. And tens of millions of people get their health care through that government marketplace. And if those expire, many reports saying that people's health care costs would double or increase dramatically. It'd be different for each person. And many people just physically can't afford it. I mean, with the average emergency fund for Americans, it's at less than $500 or something like that. And many people just don't even have emergency funds at all. How can they afford to pay, 50% more or 100% more for health care? This is a concern. So you guys can let me know your thoughts on this, but healthcare is just extremely expensive. And the problem is that these healthcare companies have a monopoly on us. And, we're the only country in the world where you can go broke or bankrupt because of your health. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Now, the Medicare annual enrollment plan is coming up. And this means that everybody on Medicare has an opportunity to change their plan for 2026, and we know that there has been a lot of changes going on. So I will put a phone number on the screen here to call Chapter Medicare, who I highly recommend. They have helped so many of our viewers here. And I'll put a link down below in the pinned comment so you can check them out online if you prefer instead of calling them. As with these 2026 changes, you're definitely going to want to know about them and see if you're in the best plan and you're getting the best benefits, whether you're on Medicare or Medicare Advantage or Part D. So call Chapter to schedule an appointment now because they tend to get busy and you want to make sure that you're on the right plan, whether it's for you or a loved one, because you definitely don't want to be caught on the wrong plan coming up for 2026. Share this video so other people can see it, or subscribe down below so you don't miss out on future videos. I will keep you up to date. Click here to see Trump's executive order that will affect millions of Americans going to affect this week. Or click here to see a new Social Security and SNAP raise going into effect in October. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.